Ellipses and elliptical arcs in this program is rather easy to create. What I'm going to do is draw a couple of reference lines here just to give you an example of how to do it. So I'm just going to draw a line. And I'm going to start here. I'm just going to go up a distance, let's say 7. And I'm also going to draw another line from this midpoint. Let's go out a distance of 3. Okay, so now I have these two lines and I'm going to create an ellipse on it, and I'm going to show you two different ways of doing that, and then I'll show you what an elliptical arc looks like. So let's start with the regular ellipse, and I'm going to define this one by 2 axis endpoints. So I'm going to use the axis endpoint one first, then I will come back and show you what the center looks like. So axis end, what I need to do is pick the long axis in which I'm trying to define, and then I need to give it a direction of that point. So I know this one don't look too much like an ellipse with a little flattened surface, and I'll shorten that line on the next one just to give you a more ellipse look to it. But as you can see, I do have that oval, and I have to define 2 axis endpoints and then half of my other axis endpoint. Let me go ahead and delete that. Okay. And next I'll go ahead and shorten this line for you. So I'm just going to create a line from this midpoint out this direction, a distance of 2. Okay, now I'll go ahead and define this one by the center and the axis end. So I'll choose center, and of course my center will be at this intersection of where these 2 points are. So I'll click that first, and now I need half of this axis and half of this axis. And now you can see that I have defined another ellipse here. The elliptical arc works really the same way. You can define it either by the center or by the 2 axis endpoints, but you have to remember you have the same steps as when you're creating an arc. So I'll go to the elliptical arc, and the first thing it's asking me down here on my command line is if I'm going to use a center, and by default it's asking me for 2 endpoints. So I'll choose this endpoint and this endpoint, and now I'll construct it just like I construct a regular ellipse. So I selected my 3 points, and now I have to give it its start and end. Remember that counterclockwise rotation. So I'll start here at the top, and then I'll come down here at the bottom. And then that way I'll go ahead and create my elliptical arc. Once again, the most important part here is the counterclockwise rotation. I'll go ahead and delete this one, and I'll just define this one by the center. So once again, elliptical arc. I'm going to select center on my command line. I'll select my center, which is here. Now I'll define my 2 points just like I would use a regular ellipse. And now once again, I'm going to put this one on the right side. So I'm going to select the bottom point first, and then I'll go up and select the top point.